I don't know if it's just me or what, but I was so excited for Trump to get back into office. For what? For what? I mean, prices are still bad. They're rising. Hell, everybody's struggling. I mean, wasn't you supposed to help us? Wasn't you supposed to? But he's not worried about us because, I mean, he's balling. He's rich. He ain't worried about it. So, I mean, I just don't understand. I went from supporting to, what are you doing for us? Making America great again? No, you're making it shit. Sorry. I may be wrong. It might, I mean, whatever Biden did, whatever. But Trump's not making it any better. It's hard out here for everybody. It's hard. Trust me, I work at a Family Dollar. It's hard. It don't matter how much you make, okay? Everybody's struggling. Everybody. Just remember that.
This is to Mr. Trump, Mr. President. Help us out. It's been almost 6 months and you still ain't bringing gas prices down, Trump. Why? Why ain't you drilling? Drill, baby, drill. You know, it's $3 a gallon. Yeah, gas is $3 a gallon. Yes. Mr. Trump, I thought you were going to try to help us out. But promises you made, promises you're not keeping. Yes, Trump, please hear our cry. I've supported you 3 times. I voted 3 times in 3, 6, 9 years, Trump. Please, Mr. Trump, help us out. We need it. We cannot afford to pay $3. Gas is higher now than it was when Joe Biden was in office, Mr. President. Come on, get it together. Help us out. Yes, we need help. Joe Biden should have ran again.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made the decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the 7th generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
It has not one church, but 2 churches on every corner. And in these churches, they anoint hate. They anoint words. Words that dehumanize immigrants, that dehumanize people of color, that dehumanize women. They don't understand that living in rural America is like living in a third world country. The infrastructure sucks. The job opportunities suck. The education levels suck. Nobody understands this unless you can actually live it. The people here live in abstract poverty with no hope of anything better. So when they see that somebody else might have it better than them, they don't like that person. Jealousy. They think the government is too big, not understanding that everything that the people that work for the government do. So they think that these people who work for the government make too much money and shouldn't have a job. If they can't make that kind of money and they can't have that job, then those people shouldn't have that job. They believe in snake venom. They believe in ivermectin. You can go to the local feed store and they sell more ivermectin to humans than they do to farm animals. They talk about snake venom curing COVID. They talk about ivermectin curing COVID. They talk about nicotine curing COVID, curing cancer. They hate vaccines. They hate science. because they don't understand science. They don't care if their kids go to school. So their kids grow up not caring either. And until we change that here in rural America, we're never going to get them to vote against. They're all for their best interest. They're always going to vote against their best interest.
Sometimes things is 4 times what they was a year ago. A roast I used to get for $12, $15, $35. It's awful.
Everything, just keeps going up.
Well, I used to spend $40 a week. Now it's $140 or something like that. I just don't think it's going to go down for a long time. They're not concerned with people like us.
They said these tariffs that they've got on, it's going to bring prices down. They're not, because it's going to have to charge more to make up for them having to pay to bring it in. And I just say everything's going downhill.
Did you vote for Trump this last time?
No, I didn't.
Never thought I was going to lose this much money, this fast.
Jim is a Republican who voted for Donald Trump 3 times.
How do you feel about your vote for Donald Trump now?
Well, I feel like perhaps I should have considered some other options.
The past 2 years, Jim has been selling honey to the federal government, which then provides it to schools and food banks. But after Donald Trump took office, the USDA cut those programs suddenly as part of the federal government's effort to streamline spending.
For a lot of other local farmers around here, it was a major source of reliable revenue. For me, it's going to cost me around $150,000 a year.
$150,000?
Yeah, roughly 50% of my revenue.
That's a huge hit.
That's a massive hit.
This is Donald Trump's America. Everyone needs to see this video. A mother of 2 is begging for help as she cannot afford to feed her children and pay her mortgage off anymore. It's truly heartbreaking and shows the reality that millions of Americans are living in right now. As soon as the money hits their account, it's instantly gone.
We are a family of 4. We have 2 kids. How are y'all surviving? Because I'm not. I got paid today, and it's gone. Goes toward the mortgage, cell phone bill, gas and electric, garbage, everything, gone.
The worst part is she works 40 hours a week, her husband works 50 hours a week, and they still can't even afford basic necessities. She says each month they have to decide between a grocery trip or paying the mortgage because they can't do both. Here's a powerful quote from her saying, "The people that don't have kids are barely surviving. I am not surviving. Your money is gone. There's nothing you can do. You just have to ride on this floating rock and spend." This right here is a very important part of what she said. Unless you're a rich elite, you're effed, and she's absolutely right. She then goes on to say that everybody needs to unite because it's very important we all speak out against this corruption. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's only going to get worse under Donald Trump's leadership. Everything that he does is focused around helping the elites and hurting the rest of us. That is his entire playbook. Here's a very simple analogy. Donald Trump is a billionaire, an elitist. Imagine he's on the red team. And imagine the blue team is the rest of America, the 99%, the working class. Why would anybody that's on the red team help the blue team out in any capacity? Obviously, he's going to help out himself and his team at the expense of us.
Just put some real numbers on it. So right now, if a farmer calls me up and says, "Hey, Jason, I've got 50,000 bushels. I need to sell you. What's the best you can do for me?" Well, right now, I'm hovering right above $5. And a lot of these farmers tell me that their cost of production is not too far off from $7 per bushel. We're nearly $2 per bushel below the cost of production when you factor in the cost of machinery, the cost of maintenance, the cost of labor, the cost of inputs like fertilizer, herbicides, pesticides, things like this that the farmer uses every single year to keep their crop in condition. The United States has a high quality bushel. The only way to keep it that way is to use these modern practices that we use, which require a lot of liquid capital to execute. So it's become quite scary, because if you think about our neighbors to the north and south, like look at Mexico, they're the number 1 buyer of U.S. corn, okay? They're the number 3 buyer of U.S. wheat, all right? Canada has an extremely aggressive program where they export durum, mostly through their Thunder Bay program to the east through the St. Lawrence Seaway. And I'm sure they do some on the West Coast as well. But either way, it's a market that's very well developed. There's a lot of expertise. And they also have the biggest canola program in the world, which is a very popular crop out here in eastern Montana, especially this year. Just driving around Roosevelt County, you see a lot more canola out there this year than last year. And I'll dig deep into the reasons why that is, but the base reason is wheat just isn't paying the bills this year.
y'all remember the good times, like the back in the days whenever the trailers were like on rent, when you could rent a trailer for like $400 or $500 to rent a trailer. Now people is asking like $1,000 to $1,200 or $1,300 a month for a 3-bed, single wide, 2-bathroom, 1-bathroom trailer. And then to top it off, like a regular house, they're asking anywhere from between $2,000 to $3,000 for rent. And even if it's mortgages, like, I understand mortgages are like, is more pricier, and obviously maybe you can pocket when you sell, but why is even mortgages like $3,000? Like, people is making more money, but really are they? Because you're spending $3,000 on a mortgage, $1,000 on your vehicle. Like, what are y'all guys making a month? Like, I'm so glad that, because used to I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't provide no income. I'm so glad I have been working so hard on my social media to where I'm providing an income now, because I'm just like stunned, because $2,500 to $3,000 for rent is insane.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself. 60% of the American public